So we're looking at 2 Chronicles chapter 20. You remember there was this entire sea of army had come against Jehoshaphat and his country. There were the Moabites, there were the Ammonites, and there were the Mount Seir. They had come against Jehoshaphat, and so it was a mighty army that had come against. And what had happened is these fellows had so much fear in them. But we read that they bowed down, that they worshipped God, they fasted, they sought God, and a prophet came and gave them some instructions. What are the instructions? Whatever the instructions were, when they did the instructions, they saw the destruction of the enemy. And one of the instruction was, do nothing. Stand still and the Lord will fight for you. And even this morning when we were worshiping, that's what I kept hearing in my spirit. Stand still, the Lord will fight for you. Oh, wow. But there is a standstill that I want to talk about. You see, what are the things that we have to do? What are the things that we have to do? We have to position ourselves, yes? We have to position ourselves. We learned that we have to have a lifestyle of worship, of bowing down. And you're not talking about bowing down physically, but a lifestyle of worship, yes. Yes. You have to bow down. I want to tell you something. This bowing down, the lifestyle of bowing down also is attached to the house. That means it's not a individual bowing down. It was a corporate bowing down, if you remember. The entire community bowed down. It was not just the person. Now, on Wednesday, those who came, I explained to you all that I needed some prayer support, and a few of you, have been praying every day. And after this service, we're going to pray because we are joined bone to bone. We are joined bone to bone, and the bone to bone, the joints supply. You know that, right? So it is in the presence of the brothers where we have strength. So we bow down together. We worship God together. So we have what's called a corporate lifestyle, not a individual lifestyle. You should have individual also, otherwise it will not spill over in corporate. But we should not get scared to do it with your brothers. Not bowing down with the sisters as well. Okay. So then we talked about obedience to the declared word. Now, many people have a problem with the obedience to the declared word because they are worried about the package with which it comes. Why doesn't God talk to me? I'll tell you something. Do you know God talks to me? Why do I have to listen to someone? God talks to me. Right? That is the major problem that people have. God talks to me. God talks to me. And the problem with obeying the declared word many times is not just the obedience, it's also hearing. Right? And then we went on to talk about submitting. And we talked about how Ruth was helped by Naomi. We talked about the different steps in which Naomi, the father, would help Ruth come to the place where she could get inheritance. Okay, but there was one more thing that I want to touch upon today. He said, believe in God and you shall be what? Read the Bible. It's there in 2 Chronicles 20 and verse 11, if I'm not mistaken. Or 17. Come on.
Yes, he shall not need to fight in this battle. Set yourselves, stand ye still, and see the salvation of the Lord with you. O Judah and Jerusalem, fear not, nor be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, for the Lord will be with you. And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground. And all Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before the Lord, worshipping the Lord. And the Levites of the children...
Now go to the place where Jehoshaphat is talking. 20.
And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa.
They rose early in the morning. Pay attention to that, okay? Early in the morning, and then?
Went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa.
Tekoa, yeah.
They went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, Hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in the Lord your God, so shall he be established. Believe in his prophets, so shall he prosper.
See, he said, believe in the Lord your God, you'll be established. Believe in the prophet and you shall prosper. The fourth element of positioning yourself is belief. What do you need to do? Believe. Now, you may say, yeah, believe. I mean, yeah, we all know that. But you have to understand, believe means to think it's done. If God says something, when you believe it, you know what it means? You don't doubt it. You don't have a problem with it in the future. Okay, so believe in God and you'll be established. Now, if God says something, and many times, He has directed me to say something to people, and I'm telling you, it has not been something that is normal, or rather, it sort of goes against the grain of what they know. And when they did obey, they had profits. They did well. Sometimes God will tell you to do things that you're wondering, Lord, why? What is this? Give away this, give away that, and you'll be like, what does giving away have to do with loving you? I love you. I mean, can I not have it and love you? But when you obey Him, He'll say, go there, go here, do this, do that. Sometimes His words don't make sense. There is a preacher called Floyd McClung who is sick right now. He has been sick for more than a year, and Floyd used to say this all the time. He used to say, understanding comes after obedience. Okay. Then he'll also add a addendum saying sometimes it doesn't come also. But what is he saying? He is saying, don't try to obey after you understand. This is one principle that I've started in my life sometime back, and I try to keep it. If I hear something from God, I try to obey it in the next 24 hours. I try. I don't succeed all the time, but many times I do succeed. Why? Because within 24 hours, there'll be other voices trying to convince me that I didn't hear it, that I should not do it, it is not right, it is stupid. And nice people will come and tell me sometimes. Good people will come and tell me. People who love me will tell me. People who think greatly for my welfare will tell me. Sometimes in my mind, things will be, hey, no, you don't have to do this. Especially when it comes to giving stuff away. I like to hold on to stuff. No, give it away. When you want to give it away, and the Lord told you to give it away, I try to act on it as soon as possible. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to talk myself out of it. I'm going to have a occasion where I will disobey God. You see, you have to believe. Belief is John 11:35. It's one of the most famous scriptures in the Bible. Why? Why? Because it's the shortest, right? It's the shortest verse in the Bible, isn't it? What does it say? Jesus wept. What does that mean? What does it mean? Jesus wept. He cried. Jesus cried. If you read that, and even I believe this, and I can't keep craning my neck. Can you come and sit out here, please? Or you're comfortable there? Then can you sit that side so I can see your face? There you go. All right. Now, what was I going to say? Yes. Many people teach, Jesus, Lazarus died, so he wept with Mary and all that. Hey, I want to tell you something. Here is a dude who knows that I'm going to go and raise him from the dead. Why would he cry a couple of minutes before that? Because he's going to do it? What if it doesn't work? Why is he crying? I'll tell you why he's crying. What happened is, he comes to, and Martha comes out. Now, Martha has never been in the scene. Who's always been in the scene? Martha's never been in the scene. Martha's always cooking, always out there, always doing things. Mary was always at the feet of Jesus. Martha was the one who's never at the feet of Jesus. Martha comes out to Jesus and has this great theological explanation and this great theological debate with Jesus about resurrection and life. And then she goes on, and then Mary comes. And Mary says, oh God, if you were there, you would have died. You would not have died. And Jesus wept. Not because Mary was weeping, because he believed. He said, you all didn't believe. I have been with you so long. And he wept at their unbelief, not along with them. Many people want to reduce Jesus to some emotional nutcase who will cry just because you cry. I want to tell you something. Jesus is not going to cry when you cry. Because I'll tell you something. When you cry, someone cries with you, it doesn't help you. You need someone to be strong next to you. Imagine you're crying and then someone comes, and you ask them, why are you crying? I don't know. You're crying. I'm just supporting you. Does it help? It doesn't help. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Doesn't help. I remember one young lady who lost her husband. We were ministering to her, and we were not crying when we were ministering to her. Okay. This is not because we believe that it was good he died or that she deserved it, but I didn't feel like crying. Why should I cry? I need to be there for her. And really, why should I cry? And then she went through her motions, and people are coming. On the fourth day, she told me something that really blessed me. She said, I stopped crying. I said, oh, okay. She said, do you know why I stopped crying? I stopped crying because I believe that he believed in Christ. So he's dead, which means what? Which means he's in heaven with Christ. So why would I cry for someone who is in with Christ? So that means I'm crying for myself. I'm crying because of self-pity. And I miss him a little bit. Right? So I can do that quietly. I can miss him and I will cry because I miss him. But most of the other crying is self-pity. And that's what she said. I didn't tell her. I thought, wow, what an understanding to come to. Right? So Jesus wept, not because he felt sad for them, not because, oh, look at this. If I had come 4 days ago, what priorities I have? If you read the Bible a little closely, it says they told him, your friend is sick. So he said, oh, you know what? He's sick. Let's stay 4 more days. Yes. What a loving friend he is. So that time, sometimes you all will call and say, Pastor, I'm in trouble. You're in trouble. Okay, I won't get in touch with you. You all will be thinking, oh, what a... But you see, I'm not equating myself to Jesus, I'm not waiting for you to die and I'll get you from the grave. No, not like that. But sometimes God has his reasons for delaying some things. Okay. And here is what I want to tell you. There are 3 reasons why God will delay his answers. Okay. The first one is no one knows the other 2. No one knows. No one knows. Only he knows. Okay. But in the end, it will always be for your good. Okay. So Jesus wept because they didn't believe. And then later he would say, I am the resurrection. Don't you believe? If you believe, that's why you should believe and be saved. You understand? So let's get over this emotional stuff. Jesus wept because Mary was always at the feet, and Mary said, why? He also said, why? No. He wept because, have I been with you so long and you do not know even the basics of faith? Right? Yes? I mean, imagine you had to pay a debt every month, but you never had to pay it. It was on you, but someone kept paying it for you. So one month, you just take it upon yourself to feel really bad. Why are you feeling bad? Because I have to pay the debt. Yeah, but have you been paying it all along? No. Will you be paying? No. Why are you feeling bad? Because I have to pay the debt. Can you see? It doesn't make sense. You know what that means? That means you don't trust him. The one who paid until now, you don't know if he's going to pay tomorrow. So till today he paid, let me worry a little bit for tomorrow. Don't you care? You don't even worry. This is what some people say. Worry is not something that shows care. Worry is something that shows that you don't believe. Okay, so when you believe God, you will be established. Now, what is established? Set. What is set? Have you ever worked with cement? Now, when I was in Siliguri, I had to do the flooring of a school. Yes, I did it. Okay, so I had to cart jelly stones. I don't know if it's what jelly stones. They're not really made out of jelly. I found out they're actually made out of stones. Okay, so I brought these stones, which they call jelly stones, and put it in a pile. Now you have to understand, I have no clue how to mix concrete. I have never, but I've seen. So I'm thinking, okay, so this is how we mix concrete. Maybe first we put in some sand. So I put in some sand. Okay, then I put in some stones. And I mixed it so sand and stone was mixed properly. Then I thought maybe now probably cement. So I put cement in it. And that was good. Okay. I had no clue how the proportions are. Okay. I don't know. But I know if there's too much cement, it will crack. If it's too less cement, it will still crack. So there has to be some proportion. So I told the Lord, you know what? I'm just going to do a proportion. You help me. So when I was putting it like that, he said, little more, like as I was cooking, I did this thing. Okay, so I mixed it all up. It was nice, but it was all dry. Now comes the time you put the water. Now, here's a thing that you should know about putting water. You put too much water, it's all wasted. So now you'll put more cement and sand to make it. Now it becomes dry, you put some more water. It's like making chapati the first time. When you wanted to make 5 chapatis, you ended up with 75. You remember the time when you kept putting that dough and atta and it became such a big thing, and then when no one's watching, you threw it on the roof so that, have you ever done that? You never done that? Okay. So pour the water in. I remember that they would make like a donut shaped thing. So I would do that, put the water in there and, cover it. And you know what? I managed somehow. And we had dug out a hole in the classroom. So that's where I went and put it. Always remember, start from that other end. I had started from the door and I literally painted myself in the corner. So I had to walk out in the cement. But anyway, and I let it there. You know what happened after the next day? It had become hard as a rock. Like, I mean, the entire thing. There were little stones sticking out. And for that, you know what I did? I put an extra layer of cement, smoothened it out, and the classroom had new floors, which I did. But here's the thing, you could jump on it, you could hit it with a hammer. It was set. You see, when you are set, you cannot be shaken. You're not like jelly. You know, have you ever set jelly? Arun likes jelly a lot. If you're ever making something fun, make jelly for him with the caramel custard. He loves it a lot. Okay, now, have you wobbled the jelly? It is set and yet it is not set. That's how Christians get set. You know, Christians are set in the Lord, and yet we will do whatever we want when we want, you know, wibble, wobble, wobble. But we're not talking about that. Do you know that hairspray that sets your hair? Very, very. You know, very important. Very important. You know, they make those fancy. I saw a lady with a really fancy hairstyle. I mean, like really fancy. I don't know what it looked like because she had a burqa on. How I know it's fancy? How I know it's fancy is it went. I mean, her head cannot be that big. It went up really that big, and the burqa came down like this. I told him. I said, Josh, I just saw an amazing. I mean, she looked like a traffic cone had won. It looked awesome. But you have to use the something gel, something to set it. Set, once you set, it will not move. When you believe God, He will set you. You will not be shaken. Right? Do you know oak tree? Have you ever seen an oak tree? Well, I'll tell you something. There's this tree called the redwood tree. Have you ever heard of it? In California, there are these forests called the redwood forests. Apparently, those are giant trees. Have you ever seen, anyone has any information how big those trees are? Pretty big. Pretty big. Pretty broad and pretty tall. Right? Now, how about you and me try to go and push it over? No, you can't. You can't. Once an oak tree is set, you can't push it over. But if it is any other small plant, you know, you can uproot it. Right? When you believe God, your root system will go deep and it will just envelop God Himself. So when someone tries to pull you, if they can move God, only then they can move you. That's the meaning of believe God and you will be established. That means you can be rest assured that only if God moves, you will move. But for that, what? You need to believe. So you can be enveloped, you can be entwined with God. Believe in His prophets and you will prosper. Now, not only should you be set and established, you need to grow and flourish. Right? So belief in God establishes you down. Belief in the prophet moves you up. The problem with many people is, I believe in God, no problem, and they're established. They're stunted, what do you call those? The plants that you keep in the bonsai. You know, you should get a bonsai orange tree. You put, you know, one orange and the whole tree will topple because it can't hold its own fruit. Because it never believed in the prophet. But here's a funny thing. You know how you make a bonsai? You cut the taproot. You know about the root system? There's something called the taproot. You must have learned it. Okay? That's where the tap is. You cut the taproot and you will stunt the growth of the tree. So that means believing in the prophet is also a root system. If you cut that, you will not grow. So what is a prophet? One sent from God. The one who sent from God. One who speaks on behalf of God to you. That doesn't mean we're talking about a priestly order or like the old Babylonian religions where you have to go through someone. No, I'm not talking about that. But there is a sent one. Even though you have direct contact with God, there is a sent one also. When you believe in that sent one, you will prosper. Right? So these are the 4 things you have to do. What's the first one? Bow down means lifestyle of worship, lifestyle of, submitting to the Lord. Second one? Stand still. Second one is obedience to the instructed word. You all don't even listen to the last week's teaching, is it? The week before last. Okay. Third one is submit to the word of the sent one. Fourth is belief. Right? And what will happen? That's called positioning yourself, by the way. So if you position yourself, let's look what will happen. We'll finish very quickly. Shall we finish very quickly? Okay, let's finish very quickly. Now I know all of you are going to come alive because we're going to talk about the benefits of positioning. What is the first benefit of positioning? Verse 22.
And when they began to sing and to praise,
When they began to sing and praise,
the Lord sent ambushments against the children of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir, which were come against Judah, and they were smitten.
verse 22 that is. Anywhere in your Bible it says uh, Moab and Amnon went against. Yeah, can you read that?
And the children and the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to slay and destroy them. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone helped to destroy another.
The first benefit is your enemy will self-destruct. You will not, but you have to listen to all the silly things. Like imagine, okay, here's a battle plan. 3 fellows are coming. Here's a battle plan. Polish your trumpets and get the prayer team and the worship team ready. We're going to send them out. Right? Now, here's the funny part. It's not like it's not been done before. It's not like you're the first one. Obeying is something that someone has already done. You have to obey. Okay, so they obeyed. They sang. They rose up early. They sang and they went. And when that happened, the enemy self-destructed. You see, when Saul and David had a problem, David never lifted his hand up against Saul. Saul had a self-destruction, if you remember that, right? Okay, let's look at the New Testament. What does it mean? Luke 6 and 36.
Be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful.
And
Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven.
are you hearing what's happening? The New Testament talks about when the Old Testament they sang and they worshiped God. The New Testament it talks about obeying this thing, where you're called to love people. When you love people, what will happen? Your enemies will self-destruct. You see, it's easy to get upset at people, right? They deserve it also. Right? They deserve to be. But when you start loving people, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, a part of you is going to die.
Yes.
But your enemy that's coming against you will self-destruct. Will self-destruct. That's why love is so important. What is the first, the fruit of the Spirit? First one. Right? What never fails?
Love.
Okay, so love. Then verse 24.
And when Judah came towards the watchtower in the wilderness, they looked unto the multitude, and behold, there were dead bodies fallen to the earth, and none escaped.
The second one is, no one will escape the judgment of God. You see, when your enemy comes against you, now I'm not talking about only human enemies, I'm talking about even the demons, I'm talking about the circumstances, I'm talking about things that come against you. It may take time, right? You may think, oh, you know, what is this? There's a breakthrough not coming. What is this? But not one of them will. What does that mean? That means thorough and complete victory. There will be not someone hiding who will poke you in the back when you're walking. No, it'll be a complete and a thorough victory. Complete. Only dead bodies all over. Not one will escape. That means if God is going to destroy the enemy in front of you, he will destroy everyone. They will not come against you. Why did the Red Sea had to close over Egyptians? Because they had to walk some more. If they were alive, they'll come and poke them in the back. So the Bible says they never heard of them for 400 plus years. Only after 400 years, they heard about the Egyptians again. That's good time, right? 400 years, we are good time. Right? So the second benefit of positioning yourself. The first benefit is they will self-destruct. Second benefit is it will be a complete destruction, thorough destruction. Okay. Third benefit. This one all of you will love. This one really you'll love. Verse 25.
And when Jehoshaphat and his people came to take away the spoil of them, they found among them in abundance both riches with the dead bodies and precious jewels, which they stripped off for themselves, more than they could carry away. And they were 3 days in gathering of the spoil. It was so much.
Check it out. The ladies, you all will not have a bath, you will not shower because this is gold hunting season. 3 days. Husband, watch the children. I'm out there gathering gold. But here's a funny part. Who comes to battle with precious jewels and diamonds and gold? They brought all their stuff so that they could die in front of you. See, the enemy that threatens you at the gates, that is saying, hi, you will never succeed, hi, you will never prosper, hi, I will see your destruction and all that. Okay, they're saying all that. That enemy was provoked by God to come to you. You say, what kind of God is this who provoked? I'll tell you why. Because he has to bring his gold. Otherwise, you have to go searching for him. So what he did, he made him bring his gold to you and then die. So whatever enemy is coming against you, whatever circumstance is coming against you, is come against you because when he dies, whatever he owns is yours. That's what the Bible says. The wealth of the wicked finds its way to the righteous. So what happens? God doesn't do things by half measure. Abundance. You know what happened? Apparently they went out and they saw dead bodies. And don't misunderstand, when they went to take the spoil, that means doesn't mean spoil bodies. It means spoil means gold and jewels and cloths and probably donkeys and horses and of what were alive. See, can you imagine actually going out to the field where you were supposed to be killed? Don't come here, for sure you'll be killed. Don't venture into this business, for sure you will lose. Don't try to do this, for sure you will be dead. Don't try to come away from there, for sure you will be destroyed. Into that field when you go, you will find not only the enemy destroyed, not only did they destroy themselves, not only are they completely destroyed, now they have kept for you their inheritance. So now the work that is upon you is to actually gather. And I tell you, even there, some Christians are saying, what kind of God is this? Couldn't he send someone to carry it for me? No, that is the work. You start gathering. You start gathering. 3 days, man. Now, imagine now. Let's just do can we do, okay. How much, Sunita is the best thing. How much can you carry? Can you carry 10 kgs and walk? No. 1 kg? We need a sturdy woman. We'll talk someone from the mountains. Can you carry 10 kgs and walk? Yes. You carry your daughter and walk. Now, how heavy is she? So 10 kg is easy, right? Okay. Now a basket, you fill it with 10 kgs. Y'all are very ingenious. You all will wear the basket on like a backpack, right? Okay. Lift with your legs. Don't lift with your back. You fill it with 10 kgs of gold. Good enough, right? And you walk back home. How many trips can you do? From morning till night. And only you stopped because you couldn't see anymore. You were tripping on the gold. Okay? Maybe 10 trips. Maybe 20 trips because you took a water break now and then. Your husband was running by you, wiping you off. Come on, honey. You can do it. Come on, honey. Come on, carry, honey. You know? And maybe 20 trips. Maybe 30 trips. Let's say 30 trips. 30 trips makes more sense. Okay? 30 trips. So 30 into 10 kgs, how much? So first day you collected 300 kgs of gold. So second day also you collected 300 kgs of gold. Third day also you collected 300 kgs of gold. Sadly, fourth day you went, it was all finished. So you had only 900 kgs of gold. Is that good, Eugene? Why am I dramatizing it? I want to tell you something. You see, the Bible is not a fairy tale. It really happened. And it was not just gold, it was also precious jewels. It was also stones and cloth and probably spices and whatnot. I mean, and I'm telling you, carrying 10 kg is a joke. I wouldn't carry 10 kg. I'll bring a cart, man. What's wrong with you all? Seriously? Bullock cart? 200 kgs, one trip. What's wrong with you all? You all don't know imagination at all. See, all of you really believed you will carry a backpack with 10 kgs. No. You see, when God brings about, He brings about abundance that you had to do it for not 1 day, not 2 days. You know that number 3 is very strange, isn't it? 3 days from morning till evening. God wants to bless you. He wants to bless you financially. He wants you to have gold. Not to wear it like a dog on the street, like some of them wear and drive the car. Not like that. I mean, if you want, you can. But God wants you to have enough to do every good work. Right? It is our time. When I woke up this morning, I did not wake up with an alarm. I did not wake up with an alarm. I woke up with a voice saying, Emmanuel, wake up and pray. For today, it has come. I thought, what has come? What has come? What has come today? I was up, Harry. Come on now. What has come today? Come on, tell me it's breakthrough. The breakthrough happened long time. Then what has come today? What has come? Manifestation. I said, yes. Manifestation. I thought you were going to say Harley Davidson. For a moment. We are still in church, brother. We're still in church. Right? Yeah? Yeah? All right. Alan, we have to encourage Alan a little more. He's not excited enough. I will talk something that will encourage Alan. All right. You notice the Euro USD is coming down. It's come down to 1.158, right? And you didn't believe. I told you it'll come down. Well, actually, God told you before me. So I was on recording. Now, if it doesn't come down, I'm in trouble. No, it'll come down. It'll come down to 1.132. We'll make some good profit. Right? Here's what I want to tell you. When God gives, He gives in abundance. He doesn't throw you a little bit like that. Right? But you have to position yourself. That's a benefit of positioning. Come on now. You cannot sit here and get excited about the talk of abundance, but not do the positioning. Come on now. There is no half measures with God. Therefore, there should be no half measures with you. You cannot stand outside Garuda Mall and say, everybody, the door opens. It never opens to me. You have to go there. Because sensor is over there. You have to come where God said and position yourself. The standstill part about positioning is about shut your mouth. Don't say what's not supposed to be said. Don't do what's not supposed to be done. Don't try to work out your own salvation. If God said you will have a child, don't go and do plan B with Hagar. You know? Come on. No, God, I was just checking if it works. No. You stand still. Don't put your own plans. Right? There will be an Isaac for you. There will be laughter for you. Right? Now, the next sentence I'm going to say doesn't, people, maybe 25 years. Right? Lord. No. But now is the day of your salvation. Now is your time. Position yourself. You have to apprehend these things now. You don't have to spend a lifetime. This can happen right now. It can happen in your mind now. If you say, no, I'll position myself, and you align yourself already, things will change. It's about aligning, right? Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so very sadly, we'll move on to the next one because we really like that whole abundance thing. But benefit 4 gets better. Okay, verse 27. Come on. Verse 27.
Then they returned, every man of Judah and Jerusalem and Jehoshaphat,
Isaiah
the
51:3.
of them, to go again to Jerusalem with joy. For the Lord had made them to rejoice for their enemies.
Okay. Say Baraka. Say Baraka. Does it say Baraka there?
Yes.
Doesn't say Baraka.
Yes.
Read 26, it'll say Baraka.
And on the 4th day they assembled themselves in the valley of Baraka. For there they blessed the Lord.
You know what Baraka means? It means prosperity, blessing. Every valley, which is supposed to be a low point in your life, come on, say low point. How many of you are in a low point in your life? If you can see me, that means you are there with me. All of us are in a low point in our life. Come on now. And when we look up to the mountains, we see, oh my goodness, it's so big. It's imposing. But I want to tell you, every valley is a Baraka. Isaiah 51:3.
For the Lord will comfort Zion.
He will comfort Zion. Say, he'll comfort me.
He will comfort all our waste places. He will make a wilderness like Eden.
He will comfort all the waste places. People called you waste, called your life a waste. He will comfort that. Now he will take the wilderness. Now, what's a wilderness? Where thorns grow, where nothing arid is there. He'll make it like Eden, where 4 rivers flow, not one. How many? 4 rivers. And then?
And a desert like garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in it. Thanksgiving and the voice of melody.
The desert, which is dry and desolate, will be like the garden of God himself. Joy and gladness and melody and music will be found. That's your life I'm describing, by the way. Some of you, at least. Most of you. Whoever wants to receive. All you have to do is position yourself and that valley is changed. Why? Because our God said so. Okay, let's go on to verse 27.
And then they returned, every man of Judah and Jerusalem, and Jehoshaphat in the forefront
Nehemiah
of them,
8:10.
to go again to Jerusalem with joy.
With
Joy.
joy. Joy is your portion. One of the benefits of positioning is what? Joy. Hey, you have to be joyful, man. You have to. See, if you hang out with me, you will notice that we laugh a lot. We enjoy ourselves a lot. A couple of things we like to do. We like to eat. If you're with me, we'll eat. In fact, this morning we went and had some tasty paya soup. Right? I know Juliet likes it a lot, but it's too far for her to come and be on time. But next time we'll somehow pack it for you. Okay? And then we laugh a lot. A lot. We enjoy ourselves. Joy is our portion. Now he'll read Nehemiah 8:10. Listen carefully to this.
Then he said to them, "Go your way, eat the fat, drink the sweet, and send portion to those for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy to your Lord. And do not sorrow, for the joy of the Lord is your strength."
See, this morning we did exactly that. We drank the fat and drank the sweet also. I think they gave sweet. I escaped it because it was too sweet. But this morning there was fat and sweet. Right? For the joy of the Lord is your strength. I had done a small teaching. I don't know whether I taught here or I taught a few people. I taught it. The joy of the Lord is your strength. You see, what is your strength? Your strength is not in the fact that you can do it. Your strength is that you can joy in the Lord. Right? Joy is your portion. Say, my portion.
My portion.
So we are serving food, right? We are serving food. And then when yours comes, we'll put a nice double portion of joy. Why you got that? That's my portion. Joy is my portion. I will never be dismayed or discouraged or in despair, for joy is my portion. When joy comes, it takes away every tear. Have you ever tried crying when you're joyful? Have you ever tried worrying when you're full of joy? Have you ever tried feeling self-pity when you're full of joy? It doesn't match. You know, I do silly things, but that's fine. You know why? Because I'm a pastor. So, and pastors are called to do silly things. Like once I do this jig when I'm joyful, because there's so much joy that you can't contain it in saying hallelujah. You can't do that. I mean, you start doing a jig, and you see this. Some of these African American pastors, I mean, they take it to the next level, and some of it is all spilling over in the flesh. But I mean, those guys, they joy. Yeah? They need to come down a notch or two. But if you do it in the flesh, it's a little ugly. But sometimes it fills you up, and you can't keep quiet and just say hallelujah. You want to do something. You want to do something. You want to play the guitar, but you don't know the chord. You don't know which side to play on also. You know, I just want joy. The joy is so filled. Let the joy be your portion. Right? In 1 Chronicles 12:40, if you read, it talks about David, how they gathered from everywhere and they brought so much of food. They brought so much of raisins, cakes, and this and that. And they rejoiced. They had fun. They enjoyed themselves. Right? Yes? I'll tell you something. You must be excited to come to this meeting. To meet your brothers. If you're not excited to come here, something is wrong with you. Joy is not your portion. Joseph was hated by his brothers, yes or no? And yet when his father told go, he was excited to go and find them. Something about the man was right. He was excited to go and find them. Because his father told. Right? You should be excited to come here. You should be excited to meet. Don't isolate yourself. I tell you, when you mix with people, their victories and their defeats can help teach you. Your victories and your defeats can help teach them. You can never learn something from no one. You know that, right? How much can you learn from no one? Not a whole lot. Right? But when you mix with people, one of the cries of God's heart was they may be one. Yes? And one of my prayers always is, Lord, let my people be one. Let my sons hear each other. And I'm very proud of a couple of you because you all are really there for each other. I mean, I know the other day, there was one brother who was willing to listen to another brother for more than 45 minutes an hour. In fact, he was so willing to listen, he went to sleep on the phone. While the other brother was talking. And I think the other brother did not even know. He just kept talking for 45 minutes. Was asleep. But very kind of him to listen. He was very tired, but he still listened. 45 minutes is a long time for someone to talk on the phone. I mean, have you ever talked to me on the phone? I'm a very good phone conversationalist. I think how many? 30 seconds maximum. The only person I really endure on the phone is Joshua. You know why? There's a secret to understanding Joshua. Okay? All you have to do is just say, but the phone can be wherever it is. There's a recording. Because Joshua will just say what he has to say. What do you say, Josh? Right? No, I don't talk much on the phone. You know why? I don't have the patience. But this brother had patience, man. I don't know how long it is, but I can't tell you how much. How long you listen? 1 hour. It's a long time. I can't tell you all who it was, right? I mean, you had so much patience to listen to Helen. It's amazing. It's amazing. God bless you with a double portion of joy. You know, double portion of joy. All right. Now there's something called kingdom joy. Kingdom joy is exciting, but kingdom joy is when you find your place and your position and you locate yourself and know exactly what to do in the kingdom. That doesn't mean I am the toilet cleaning pastor. Not like that. I mean, you know who you are. You are the son and you're established. That is kingdom joy. You're not running around trying to please anyone, whether it's a pastor, a set man, nothing. Why? Because you're established. Right? We have to bring it in. It's almost 8 o'clock. Come on. Verse 29.
And the fear of God was on all the kingdoms of those countries, when they had heard that the Lord fought against the enemies.
Now, this is the sixth benefit. Now, listen, remember carefully, when the whole episode began, they were shaking in fear. By the time the episode finished, everyone else was shaking in fear. I want to proclaim a word over your life. You may be today come to this meeting shaking in fear. But if you listen to the word and position yourself, by the time you leave, everyone else will be shaking with fear. They'll be wondering, what does that person have in store for us? I'm talking about the circumstances and the demonic oppression that has been oppressing you all this time. I'm talking about the unknown future that you are scared of. I'm talking about the thing that you cannot take hold of because it is too difficult. I'm talking about the financial oppression. I'm talking about the relational oppression. I'm talking about any kind of problem. I'm also talking about people who are oppressing you. They will be scared of you if you position yourself. The fear of the Lord will come upon them on behalf of you. When they see you, they will fear you. Yesterday, we went to a bike showroom. There was a man over there. The first day, he was like, oh, yeah, this is a bike, like that. He was little all hoity-toity. Yesterday, when I went, I actually did not even look at him. I didn't see he was there. Then later, I said hi to him, but I was concentrating on something else. Later, he would talk to Josh and say, hey, there's something about that fellow. When he comes in, it's very different in the shop. It looks like he's assessing me and assessing everybody. I was not assessing anyone. I was just walking around, because Josh says that he wants to shoot a video there. So I'm trying to figure out, where which will be a nice location. When you walk into places, people should get scared. People should get scared, right? You want people to be scared of you? Not really. I mean, you don't want people to be scared of you. But what I mean is, if they are oppressing you, if they are enemies, they better be scared of you, right? Right. Okay, verse 30, the last one. Hey, this is a beauty.
So the realm of Joseph was quiet, for his God gave him rest around about him.
The seventh benefit is rest. It doesn't mean inactivity. It doesn't mean going to sleep. It doesn't mean suspending your responsibility. It means no more work, no more striving, no more sweating, right? Matthew 11:28 says, come to me, all you who labor and are heavily laden, and I will give you rest. Later you would say, you will find rest. I will give you rest. Okay, now what keeps you from this rest? Okay, Hebrews 3:16-19.
For some, when they had heard, did provoke, how he is not all that came out of Egypt by Moses. But with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that I had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? And to whom sware he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believed not?
To them that believe not. Unbelief, which leads to disobedience, is the number one reason for not having rest. Okay, Hebrews 4:1-3.
Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us to enter into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was a gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said.
So when we believe, we enter into rest. So simple, right? So when you hear a word like you're hearing today, and you believe it, what will happen? You'll enter into rest. Remember Simon, he worked all night on the boat, right? What did he do? toiled all night and he caught nothing. That reminds me, you have to sing a song for the children. So remind me to sing a song, okay, about toiling all night. So he toiled all night, he caught nothing. Yes? And then what did Jesus say? Throw the net on the other side. What did Peter say? Something very amazing that should become your motto. At your word. We worked all night, Lord. Nevertheless, at your word. So the word came. He believed. What happened? He didn't just catch it. I mean, the fish were having a competition to see who will get in first. Have you ever had a time when the rupees were having a competition saying, no, you know what, I will get into their pocket first? Imagine the 2000 rupee notes all over the place. Right now, as you are positioning yourself, they're telling themselves, guys, get ready. There are some sons somewhere who are positioning themselves. We have to now land up in their bank accounts or pockets. Okay, and actually finding it. Imagine that. Imagine one fellow is counting and that money is saying, I'm not yours, I'm not yours. I have to go, I have to go. I have to go, I have to go. Go find this fellow, go find this fellow. And then someone calls you, Ella sir, yaro, nimatra kodabekante. You get it? Thanks. Right? At your word, at your word. And what happened? He ceased from toiling and works and entered into rest. When he entered into rest, oh, like that you catch fish. That's it. He must have been, his mind must have been blown. He's saying, where did they come from? At his word. They came from his word. At his word, right? Yes? Okay. So he heard, he obeyed, he entered. But he did one more thing. He forsook. You remember after that he left? After that he left. I want to tell you something. Never let your blessing become your curse, become your trap. Here's one thing that many people will do. I prophesy over you crazy financial blessing. I mean, some of you are going to have money like you never even dreamed of. And you're even embarrassed right now to even daydream about it. You'll have. But the problem is when you get a blessing and you spend time maintaining that blessing, you're done. You're useless for the kingdom. You're useless for God. He won't take the blessing back. Don't worry. You'll just be useless. I'll tell you something. How many of you would like to get a Rolls Royce car? Anyone here? You like a Rolls Royce. Anyone else Bugatti car? You like a Bugatti. Okay, I'll ask you a question. You like a Bugatti, right? Now, do you know how much it costs to service a Bugatti? You know the price only. Okay. Do you know where you're going to park it outside a paying guest? You know who will come and scratch it in the morning and the night? You will be constantly maintaining that car. You will be servicing that car. The car won't be servicing you. The car will not be for taking you around. It will be for you to look after it. You'll have to hire a guard. So, you'll be shouting, Jagte raho around the car. Why? So that no one should. So no more is it a blessing for you. Now it's a pain. It's a curse. You can buy a Bugatti. The only thing is we'll speak to the Bangalore traffic police and reduce all the road bumps. Others you'll do seesaw on one road bump. Right? It's a simple thing, but it's a true thing. Right? Another thing is giving cell phones to people. It's a curse or a blessing. Now, here's the thing. You give the cell phone. They have to do that prepaid thing every month where they'll get money from. It's quite a curse actually. All the data plan, and now it's becoming cheap, but still they have to pay for it, right? So you have to be careful that your blessing doesn't become a curse. God will bless you. That's why you need a father to help you navigate through that. Right? So I'm not saying give up on the blame, I'll try something and sit on the side. No. No, the Lord wants to bless you. Just be wise. Yes? Okay. Don't shift into this maintaining your blessing mode. Be a blesser. Hebrews 4, 9 and 10, we close with this.
There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God, for he that is entered into his rest, he also had ceased from his own works, as God did from his.
He who entered into rest has ceased from his work. So your prayer should be, Lord, what are my works that are preventing me from entering into rest? What are the works that I am doing in my flesh that are preventing me from entering into rest? That should be your prayer this morning. Correct? So, here it is. When you get your positioning right, how do you position yourself? There are 4 steps that we spoke about. There are many more, but 4 steps we spoke about. The first is bowing down. Second one is obedience to the spoken word. Everyone's moving the mouth, no one's saying anything. Obedience to the spoken word. Okay. Third one is submitting to the sent one. Fourth one is believe. When you do this, you position yourself, and then you will have the benefits of blessing, which are: first is your enemy will self-destruct. Second one is there'll be a complete destruction. Third one is, yes, you like that one, there'll be abundance of spoil. Fourth one is your valleys will become a blessing, will become prosperous. Fifth one, joy is your inheritance, is your portion. Sixth one, fear of the Lord will go forth in front of you. Then the seventh one, you will have rest. So may the Lord bless you with the hearing of this word.